Jerry Butler, why you treat me bad? See, don't nobody do none of them, boy. They gone, but they ain't gonna be forgotten. Who else I do, man? The Jolly Green one, boy, but Jolly. Man, we could see that the scanners were different. You see, it was a big deal to be burnt by Quako's Ritz back then. But he did it with Shop. Come on, man. In the morning. Come on, man. Put some drinks in. Happiness when. Thank you, man. I don't want to get to that. Trying to give you a variety, boy. We got a new church in town. We got Elvis, man, back in the day. You know, we got Bruno Mars on, taking from Mars Day. What? And hallelujah. You know, Prince. I never meant to call you. He make love to himself. I love Prince, man. I never meant to call you. Oh, okay, I forgot. Okay, you wanna do it? Do it. Huh? Oh, but I like Elvis. Elvis, he used to listen to Jackie and Roy Harper. I got love and I can't. See, you gotta know the history of that. See, Elvis wasn't stupid. Elvis was wearing them suede boots, man. Why you wearing back then, you know? It's now or never. Come home and fight. I want for the money. For the shit. Love me tender. Come and say, Anne Margaret, love me sweet. But let me tell you who we got it all from, man. Yeah, you got to look at this joint, 63. Yeah, a lot of things happened to him, but I love him as much as I love James. But I'm gonna try to recreate it. It's hard to sing this bro, man. But this cat, Michael and James Brown, he used to stop and go see this cat. That's what made him work hard. Man, somebody know his thing. Let me do this thing right. Man, that cat come out, boy, turn around and say, all right. Hey, you! Kick him on the floor! That's possible. Give me the pie. Come on and get him on the floor! Honey, let's rock some more, yeah. Hey! Yeah!
everything we got. You know? I'm fortunate to have this young man back on stage again, Mr. Roland Smith. Y'all put your hands together. We're going to have him come out and do a number for you. I'm trying to bring a whole bunch of stuff to you other than James Brown. I know that's my man. But I got all this talent up here, so I got to let them share that, you know. Mr. Roland Smith, y'all give it up to him. Something like this. We're going to trip you out with this one. We're coming from a different direction.
Okay. Let's do this.
We're going to send this out to all the ladies, too.
Stop using your body, use your brain. I feel the sax coming on right now.
Wow, welcome to I have to think of where I am on the scene with Patricia McDougall, celebrity photographer, my co-host Miss Denise.
Miss Denise Mitchem
in the house, and we have some special guests with us. How about that? So we're going to let you know who they are in 1 minute. One, I have Miss, I'm saying it wrong, Carol.
Yes, Carolyn Gamble.
That's right, and Miss Brianna Fields.
Hello, everyone.
Miss Tanzania, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So we're going to have, we want to move along very quickly, but the video you saw earlier was Mousy Thompson's band. And you know, they did a fabulous job, and everybody was in the house last night. They were partying, having a wonderful time. Oh, my. That's all I could say. It was off the charts. But I'm going to show some videos and some footage and more videos and some footage shortly. But in the meantime, we have Lance London calling in. So I'm going to try to get him on the line and let him tell you all about how he fed the homeless, right? During the holiday, and those in need during the holiday season. So let's see if we can get him on the line. How about that? And everybody knows Lance London if you're out of D.C., in the D.C. area, right? He's in D.C., Maryland. He's all over now. I think he's branching out to all over the place. My mind.
Yep, Atlanta.
Atlanta.
New
Do I have a
restaurant coming
plugged
to
in?
D.C.
Yeah.
and Waldorf.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I'll let you talk a little bit more about it. Well, hello, Lance. We have Lance on the line. I have it plugged in here. Hold on. We're going to get you straight, Lance. Is that better? Hello? Oh, off the speaker? Yes. Hello? Can you talk?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, he's live.
Yes.
That is the one and only Lance London. Welcome.
Hey, it's great to be here.
Yes,
I will say this much to everyone who's out there. Let me tell you how much of a trooper I am. I'm very, very sick, but, you know, when you call me, no matter sick or not, I'm going to do all I can and get up and do this interview. I'm excited.
Well, you know, hey, well, we appreciate it. That's Lance in the picture right there in his beautiful tuxedo. He's always decked out, and he's with the Carolina Kitchen. We're showing some pictures of you, Lance, right outside the Carolina Kitchen. You have to represent, you know?
There you go. You always got to represent. You know, you feel good, you look good, and, you know, reverse that. You look good, you feel good.
That's right. So, yes, we have Denise Mitchem in the house.
Hi, Lance. How are you today?
I'm doing great.
So tell us how you got your start with Carolina Kitchen and what gave you the concept to begin this fabulous establishment.
Well, many, many years ago, I had the kind of father that constantly came home and talked to me each night about being successful in life. And the latter part of anything that he would ever want me to do is to fail in life. So he would always talk to me about becoming a doctor or a lawyer. And he said, son, if you don't become a doctor or lawyer, at least become a salesperson. I said, why, Dad? He said, because the more you sell, the more you make. No one can put a cap on your income, son. You know, I want to see my son going to be better than me. And one of the things I would like for you to do more than anything at all is be able to get up in the morning because you want to, not because you have to. So, last and final, if you have to do anything, son, if you're going to be a doctor, lawyer, I'll be happy. If you're going to be a salesperson, successful salesperson, but the main thing I would love for you to be is an entrepreneur. So he kept driving this into my brain over and over and over. You never know how much when you talk to your kids, how much the stuff really does stick. So it's really important. If you're out there and you have kids, and I don't have any kids, but I can relate to this. If you're out there and you keep telling your kids certain things, and you tell them over and over again, a lot of it sticks. So my dad, he taught me these things, and I guess it stuck. And I never forget, you know, I'm going to say this to you guys sitting there right now. We kind of laugh like our parents. We say some of the same little slogans or little things, little sayings that they say because they rubbed off on us after growing up in the same household. But I can tell you something else. Their habits and some of their desires to rub off on us too. So you got to watch what you do in front of your kids. But my dad was an entrepreneur. And one of the things that he wanted to do is, and he wanted to open up a McDonald's. I'll go ahead and say the name of it. I usually don't like to say names of competition, but he wanted to open up a McDonald's. And he worked really hard at it. He got approved and went to Chicago and went through the whole program. And he got to the point where he went to Hamburger University. And unfortunately, before he can open his first location, he had a heart attack and he passed away.
Oh,
So he
wow.
never got to live his dream. It was something he really wanted to do. Now, I will say this much. He came from nothing. He was very, very poor growing up. And he went on to become successful, put me in a nice house, nice cars, nice clothes, mini bike and go-kart, all the things that a little boy could ever want. Put me in a great position and taught me some great things and set a good example for me. But right when that one thing that he wanted to do over top of his other business, because he was successful, he wanted that McDonald's so bad. And let me step back a little bit. Sometimes we talk things into existence. And I can share this with you guys sitting there on the panel right now. I can share it with everybody who's listening. If you keep saying something over and over that you really want, and you repeat it over and over to yourself, you can lie to some of the people sometimes, but you can't lie to yourself none of the time. If you keep on saying things over and over that you truly want, in time, trust and believe, those things will start to materialize. It may not happen overnight, because the bigger the something that you want, the longer sometimes it takes to get it. You're not going to get something for nothing. You got to work really hard to get it. But if you keep telling yourself, this is what I want, this is what I'm going to get, you're going to get it. So, in other words, write down what it is that you want, and I did. Write it down, and you keep reading each and every day what it is that you want. And I say it all the time, a dream is merely but a wish unless you write it down and start acting upon it. Well, you know what? I watched my father have a dream. And he talked about that McDonald's before he even went and got involved with the McDonald's program. He talked about how excited he was being American success stories. The McDonald's brothers selling their concept to Ray Kroc. He knew the whole story before anybody even told it. He told me sitting at the dinner table. And then he watched, this concept go with we service your way and everything comes out fast. And he was excited to watch it spread and make all the little characters like the hamburger and the French fry guy and whatever. He was excited about it. So when he went through that whole program, he never got to live his dream because he lived here. He left here, unfortunately. God bless his soul. It stuck with me. I didn't know how bad it stuck with me. I went to school for dentistry. I went to school to be a dentist.
Wow.
And to try to make him proud. But it just sat in the back of my mind. It just sat there and sat there. And one day, when I became successful in direct sales and marketing, and put together enough money, in direct sales and marketing to be able to do some other things. And one day it was in my building that I had an office in. It was a little place on the basement floor of the building, street level, in downtown Silver Spring. And I came up with the idea, and I could see it used to be a restaurant that went out of business before I got there. It had been laying empty for 2 years. So I went to the ownership, and I drew a picture of what it was that I wanted it to be.
I see.
And they hadn't had a client in there in years, so he had to listen to what I had to say. And I'm a pretty good drawer. I can draw pretty well. And when I showed him pictures, he got excited. He looked at it and said, "You sure you can do this, son?" I said, "Yes, sir, I can do it. You just give me a chance. You give me some free rent. You allow me to put this concept together. I promise you, I won't let you down." You know what? He gave me a year's worth of free rent. Now, this is the exciting part. 1 year worth of free rent. It had been sitting there for 2 years empty. The building was built in the 1940s, right in the center, smack dab in the center of downtown Silver Spring. And we all know Silver Spring is a beautiful metropolis of a city. It's one of the older buildings, but it's in a real historic spot in the center of downtown Silver Spring. Well, I had that 1 year. And when I went on to put this concept together, I was involved with direct sales. And I never forget, I had my direct sales people go out each and every morning. And I gave $25 to the person that got these questionnaires filled out. Questionnaires said things like, if a restaurant was to open in downtown Silver Spring, what type of restaurant would you want it to be? Would you like for it to be hot dogs, hamburgers, Mexican, or Southern cuisine? And guess what? Southern cuisine went out. What colors would you like for your restaurant to be? Would you like for it to be blue and yellow, green and blue? Guess what? Red and yellow went out. How much you spent on lunch previously, right now? And I think $6 to $7 went out. And what restaurant do you frequent right now for lunch? And guess what? Guess who went out? McDonald's. They went out. And then after we collected over 12,000 questionnaires every day, 2 weeks before I opened, I had my secretary at the time. I was a little young man. I'm still young. I still look great.
Yes, you are.
So I had my secretary at that particular time get on the phone and call people and say something a little bit like this. Hi, Mr. Tate, how are you? You got involved with a questionnaire on downtown Silver Spring a few months back? And the person would say, yeah, I sure did. And to tell you what, we just want to show our gratitude and say thank you very much. And what we'll do is give you 10% off on your first meal and a free beverage if you come to our grand opening, which is 3 days from now. And we did that with the actual date. We did it for 2 weeks, actually. And the very first day I ever opened up, didn't know what I was doing, knew nothing about the restaurant business. It was a line wrapped around the building. Wow. And the very first thing I said when I opened the door was, welcome, welcome, welcome. I was so nervous. I didn't know nothing else to say. And here's the funny part. People came in and were lying around the block. I got video footage of it. They were lying around the block, and I didn't know nothing about the restaurant business. I just brought people from my direct sales business right into the restaurant business. I knew how to cook everything one time. I had my grandmother, who was like 89 at the time. I had her come in and help me cook everything up, and I could cook too because I learned how to cook from cooking for girls in college. So I could cook. I could burn. So he had all the food made up, and never knew that once I made macaroni and cheese one time, once I made collard greens one time, once I made everything one time, I thought that was going to last me all day. That shows you how much I did. You came in the door, right?
You're making me hungry.
You was running out, right? Food. And I never forget this. I put the menu together, too. I had no help, no consulting, no nothing. Wow. Never forget this. Certain things I didn't have on the line. It was kind of like, those restaurants you come in, it was a cafe style. You come in and you order your stuff and go to the cash register and go out. Never forget this. I didn't put things like 10-piece wings, barbecue wings. I didn't put that in those, kind of like when you go through the line at Boston Market, etc. I didn't put the wings in there. I let you do it by ordering. Right. So I remember this like it was yesterday. The person said, yes, I've been waiting a long time. I've been standing on that line. Let me get a 10-piece wing. And the person who works in the restaurant said, all right, okay, 10-piece wings. You pass it over to the next person. 10-piece wings. The next person back. 10-piece wings back there. The next person goes, 10-piece wings over there. And the next person goes, where the wings at? You go back to the first one. Where the wings at? Where the wings at? You get back to the where the wings at, Mr. London? Right. Check the refrigerator. Check the refrigerator. Check the refrigerator. Check the refrigerator. Get back to the back refrigerator. They frozen. They frozen. They frozen. They frozen. They frozen. Hey, sorry, ma'am. We're out of wings right now. Can you pick something else? I'll never forget how discombobulated we were. And
that's
never
all
forget,
right. That's
as the person standing in line, waited an hour to get in there. They go, yeah, it's soul food restaurant. I want some macaroni cheese, like macaroni cheese. Can I have some more macaroni cheese? I go, more macaroni cheese, more macaroni cheese, more macaroni cheese, more macaroni cheese, more macaroni cheese. Get to the back person. The person goes, we out. You're out,
right.
Make some more. Make some more.
Wow.
How you make it? Right, sorry, sir. We have macaroni cheese. You mean to tell me I just stood there live for a whole hour and a half and y'all don't have no macaroni cheese? Oh, Lord.
I know.
These kind of things I was going through.
Wow.
It's called growing pains. But I never gave up.
That's good.
Look up, you can get up, and you can change your situation or change your life. But I just stuck in there, and here we are years later, 22 years later. What? I went from that store and had a tragic situation. Wow. Get a phone call at 4 in the morning. Lance, your restaurant's on fire. I'm like, what?
Oh, my God.
And
what?
When I heard that, this is my first restaurant. I had never had anything. I never had a house on fire. I never barely even seen a fire, And I couldn't believe it. And I'm the kind of person that sleeps with the TV on. I had just gotten home, literally just gotten home.
Wow.
So I'm getting up to put my clothes on. It's freezing cold outside. December the 7th, 2004. It's freezing cold. So I put my clothes on, and I'm looking at TV because I sleep with the TV on. And the lady announced on TV saying, here I am in front of the Carolina kitchen where it's on fire. I'm like, oh, my God. That's my place on television. I cannot believe it. Oh,
so, Lance,
Lord. And I rushed to put my clothes on.
Lance.
It made me cry.
Lance.
But I was crying.
Lance.
Yes, sir.
Lance.
Not to cut you off, but Lance.
You got a story. You need to come on the show. You need 3 hours.
To be here, right. You need 3 hours. So one of the things I wanted to ask you, Lance, is tell us some of your philanthropic endeavors that you have and the things that you like to do, and especially with some of the pictures that Pat has taken with you giving back to the community.
Well, let me say this one thing. That fire set me back, but here I am today, right? But not just that I came back off that insurance company wouldn't pay me, but I got back open again in Largo, Maryland. Then I went on open in Hyattsville, Maryland. Then I went on to open in Washington, D.C. and opened another restaurant in Washington, D.C. Now I'm opening up out in Brandywine, Maryland with a brand new Carolina kitchen in a couple more days. Yes. So that shows you guys, you might get set back, but God always got a plan for you to come back. And to answer that question, every year for the last, this year made 15 years. I've been giving back to the community. I feed those in need, homeless, financially challenged individuals. We do over 1,000 people a year, and I pay for it myself.
Wow.
And it's a wonderful experience. We have people come from far and near. As far away as Baltimore, Maryland.
All over.
They come in by the busloads, and we have music, gospel singing, DJ, dancing, dance contest, food, all kinds of wonderful. You know how it feels to see somebody's eyes get off bus and, and not even have a home or not even have a family to share Thanksgiving with, but to come to the Carolina Kitchen, which is a beautiful restaurant, and get off and come in this place and see all these happy volunteers, which is basically my Carolina Kitchen team members and my direct marketing sales company called Rebecca. These members and also other volunteers are all around the DC metropolitan area. They're all happy, keep everybody pumped up. And the buses come in and the people are looking like, wow, I can't believe it. Let me tell you how incredible it makes you feel. Thanksgiving is already a time for giving. It's a wonderful time to see family.
So we're going to have, Lance, we're going to have you come on in and be a part of the show next time when you're able to come in and be with us on the show. And
you made us so hungry talking about all that food. What? Yes. I'm going to have to make my way up the street.
As soon as we finish, we're going to make our way up to the street, the Carolina Kitchen, and have some food. So tell us some of your menu items that are specialties.
Well, of course, we have the Creole salad. It's a Louisiana salad. It's really, really sweet and soft and tender.
Yes,
it's covered in crab meat.
What?
Yeah, top of crab meat is shrimp. It's good.
Nice Creole sauce,
Creole salmon,
macaroni and cheese, and honey butter cornbread. We have a fried lobster tail, one of the best in the country. Fried lobster tail with a
wow.
Sauce that comes with it. Yeah. Of course, we have the Maryland crab cake, which is absolutely amazing. Baked back ribs, barbecue, seasoned, slow cooked, tender as ever, with seasoned fries. Also, we have all kinds of fish and items like a blackened catfish over rice. Now, we fry ourselves in our black-eyed peas and also slow cooked. It's candy yams with some kind of special. Everything's cooked.
Well, I tell you, Lance.
I don't like to say collard greens as well. Nothing wrong with the chitlins every now and then with some vinegar, hot sauce, with pepper on them. Come on now.
Okay, so we're going to head over to Carolina Kitchen when we leave here, Lance, Pat and I. I tell you, we made us very hungry. And I know that my family enjoys it because when my daughter was working on her first master's degree at Howard, when I used to come into town, the whole family would go there and eat.
Oh, excellent.
And so we really enjoyed it. And we'd like to have you on the show another time when you're able to come in here with us. And we're going to move right along because we have some other parts of the show that we need to show today.
No problem.
But we want to thank you so much for joining us. You know, we feel like you was here. I mean, oh my God. And thank you for feeding everybody.
My sickness is in the bed, but all my sickness went away when I heard y'all voice. Get excited.
Well, feel better. And thank you again. And what is the name of the website? I know the name, but how do they find you on social media?
www.thecarolinakitchen.com. That's www.thecarolinakitchen. That's right, the Carolina Kitchen, where you get your chicken and much, much more. God bless you.
Well, thank you. Much love. All right. Thank you. As you can see, she did drag me out of there because I wasn't trying to go anywhere. But when I got there, oh my, they was partying. They was having a wonderful
and
time.
feeding the homeless and giving back to the community.
The homeless. And Leah's like, I should have got some clothes. They had some serious jackets up there. I was like, Leah, well, first when we pulled up, she's like, I ain't going in there. I can't wait online. I'm like, look, Leah, for real. But when she was in it, she was the first one. She was licking her fingers. I kid you not. So it was definitely a wonderful experience. But anyway, we just want to welcome Caroline. Is that right, Carolyn Gamble? Yes, tell us a little bit about you very briefly, and then we're going to move on to Brianna.
Okay, my name is Carolyn Gamble. I am a motivational, inspirational speaker, and I'm also someone that I have a passion for helping others, and I have over 26 years community service to the Washington metropolitan area, starting at Howard University Hospital before the signs went up. But I am the volunteer coordinator for the Carolina Kitchen Helping Hands program, and it's such a day of not only giving, but I always tell people it's a day to create priceless smiles and memories. And we have volunteers from all walks of life, individuals, we have families, we have groups, you name it, children, and everyone comes out and they just want to simply hand a person a plate with a smile. And even when the buses pull up, we applaud them like they're celebrities walking into the restaurant. So it's definitely a wonderful day with Dawn Moss. She is at if you'd like to have an event or anything at the Carolina Kitchen, contact Dawn Moss, who also has this program with Mr. London. She's the executive managing partner of the Carolina Kitchen. She's at Hyattsville. Kathleen Nelson is at Rhode Island Avenue, and Danita Bowe is at Largo. So those are the people that you would contact for an event at the Carolina Kitchen, or if you'd like to have a special order. And that's what people don't realize. Not only do they do the food for that entire day, but the day before, they're doing orders for people who don't want to cook for Thanksgiving. People have to pick up their order. They do catering on Wednesday. So you walk into Hyattsville or Largo, so you'll see like 30, 40 turkeys plus the sides for people that are coming to pick it up because they don't want to cook. Wow. But it's definitely a wonderful day, and it's just a day of priceless smiles.
And it definitely was all of that. So we thank you so much. So where can somebody find you? You do so much.
Yes, I'm Carolyn Gamble Speaker, SPEKER on Facebook, and also Carolyn Gamble on Instagram.
Wonderful, wonderful. So thank you so much for joining us. So we're going to cover it over here for Brianna Fields very briefly. I know we're pressed for time, but she's a beautiful Miss Tanzania, right?
Yes.
In the house.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. Tell us a little bit about you. We're showing some pictures of you winning your beautiful crown.
So my name is Brianna Fields. I am from the DMV area, Maryland, to be exact. I won my title, Miss Tanzania USA, August 20th, and I'm happy that I got the opportunity to be in the pageant. I only had a week to prepare.
Wow.
Yes, and it was really nerve-wracking, but it was my first pageant, and I was so happy that I got to come out on top in a way. But my platform is basically about helping the youth in Tanzania. That's the part my family is from. And there are a lot of youth there that suffer from homelessness, disease, and lack of education, and I just want to do my part by helping them and trying to get funds and raise money for them over in Tanzania. And I have a GoFundMe. It's gofundme.com/TYT16, and you can read more about my platform there and what I want to do. So I'm also involved in the church. I am the president at Reed Temple AME main campus over the youth, and I'm also the 2nd District First Vice, so I preside over 5 states.
Yes, for the young people's division of the Women's
So
Missionary
are you in
Society.
school here? Are you in school locally? Or
yes, I'm
where
in
are you attending
Montgomery
college?
Community College at the moment, but I would like to transfer to Spelman after my 2 year.
Wow.
So I'm excited.
Mom, get ready.
But
she's part of my Reed Temple family. I want to say thank you to all of my Reed Temple family for coming out that day, and also to a lot of people didn't know Pastor Jamal Bryant came in and tweet. They were there that day. We do have also different local celebrities over the years to come and volunteer on the actual day, so it's a great day. And she took her crown off and went straight to work. When you took the picture, she had to go back and put her crown on because she really was there about helping the people and serving the people, just like at Reed Temple. The YPD, Young People's Division, if you saw the white suit with the green stash.
Yes, I did.
That's part of the Women's Missionary Society, the AME Church, which I'm a part of, and so is mom. And the main purpose of the Missionary Society is to help those less fortunate in need. And she's been doing this since she was little.
Yeah.
Wow.
What age? Like 4 or something. She's been there
9. Maybe.
9.
Well, my mom, she had me in church when I was younger, but
Well, I'm sure.
I
I'm
got
sure.
involved in YPD around 9. Yeah.
Well, we thank you so much. We're going to circle back because we just want to move. We have a couple more things we want to show very briefly. So we want to thank you so much,
Thank you
Brianna.
so
You did a
much.
wonderful job. We're going to have you back on the show.
Okay,
How
that'd
about that? And so, Denise, you want to ask her anything before I move on to the next?
No, she told us about where she's going to school, her aspirations, and we're looking forward to seeing great things happen with her in the future.
Thank you so much.
And we're going to be going somewhere tonight. Too bad they all can't come and show the crown and stand up there and do all that. Where we're going tonight?
We're
Denise?
going to the Bethesda Jazz and Blues Club to see the Gospel According to Jazz with
Oh,
Kirk
wow.
Whalum
Yeah, he
and
came out to
Kiko
read temple with
Matsui,
that. Oh, we didn't have
as
Kiko.
well as
Norman Brown
tonight.
Oh,
So we're
wow.
looking forward to
Yeah.
that.
Really
Gospel According
excited.
to Jazz. If you're free, come on out and support this event.
It's a
I am a
beautiful
big
event.
fan of Kirk
Yes.
Whalum. I've known him for years, and we've done things together in the past, so I'm really looking forward to seeing him tonight.
And we're excited to be there. We're actually going to the early show, but they have 2 shows, so you know how it's going to be awesome. But anyway, moving right along, let's show some footage from Mousie's event last night. Mousie Thompson had a fabulous event, so we just want to show some of the footage. And Denise, if you can elaborate for some of the, I know you know some of the people there.
Well, it was a great event. It was well attended. Very packed house last
Are you
night.
partying there or what?
Rhonda and I
Y'all
were
left
on
me out.
stage last night.
Yes,
This is
Mousy up in the
last
house.
night with Rhonda, and we were having a really good time. I actually came in from New York and came straight to the venue and to the event just to celebrate with Patricia for my birthday.
Yes, and that's
Happy
Karen.
birthday.
Yes,
Thank you,
Happy
thank
birthday.
you.
Yes.
So it was
and
great
that's
to be in the
Rhonda's
house.
cousin, I think, right?
That is Rhonda's cousin.
Yes.
Yes.
And there we go.
Y'all
We
was
had-
jamming.
Oh, we were jamming. And that little boy right there, oh my God, he was doing flips
He did
and
a
turns
James
and-
Brown
Wow.
rendition
Yeah.
last night in the
Wow.
house.
Hopefully we'll be able to show it. And maybe we can show a video very quickly when we finish showing this. But this is just everybody
Skip.
and who's who. And Skip was in the house. And
Skip was
actually, that
there.
was his event, right?
Yeah, Skip was the promoter for that event last night. It was a packed house. It was well attended. Everyone had a
Right.
really great time.
Oh my goodness, I sure did. I ain't even gonna lie. Okay, so we're gonna move right along. If we can show maybe a little piece of the video from. This is an interview now, right? Because you two are the man of the hour right here, right? So how many years have you not seen him?
Man, my first time seeing him play in over 35 years.
Wow, wow. Wasn't awesome?
But we came up as young boys together playing. That's right. And boy, that's right, rock and roll. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
How about that? The man, Sugar Bear, Mousy in the house. All right, all right.
Two things. There's things that we can do for ourselves. You think you can do better than our students? You think you can do better than us? There's things that we can do for ourselves that we don't need you to do. The sisters are not going for that no more, are we, ladies? We realize two things. I said, we realize two things, yeah. There's things that we can do for ourselves. We need you, but we don't need you. So from now on, we're gonna use what we got. Wait a minute now. They said they want me to listen. Right, that's right. Should I get it in? Should I get it in? Should I get it in?
To get what you want.
So from now on, we're gonna use what we got. I said we're gonna use what we got. I did it right. We're gonna use what we got to get what we want. So,
Go ahead, girl.
y'all ready? I'm gonna do help with this song. Where my ladies? 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 Ladies! We're gonna use what we got to get what we want. So, you better think of the time we had.
she's got a voice to be told.
And
So-
she gets the audience engaged.
Oh
I like that.
my goodness, she's everywhere. I met her a couple of years back, and everywhere I see her, I said, I know I'm in the right place. They say that about me, but I really want to say that about her. But we're gonna move right along. We're gonna go right into the R&B weekend that was up in what is it, Hershey, Pennsylvania, and that one was off the charts. That's all I'm going to say. I mean, what? And we had my man from The Voice up in there. What? What? We had so much fun. I can't even begin to tell you how much fun we had. It was live and personal. Even, I mean, you could tell a little bit about who's who, Denise. I know Denise knows everybody. Hello.
That's Leah.
Oh yeah, Leah. I
Leah's
had them actually working up there, so they were doing their thing for real.
So we had Enchantment there over the weekend, and then we were with Harold Melvin's Blue Notes, and then also Dennis Edwards and the Temptations were there performing as well. So we had a great time. We were at the Hershey Lodge in Pennsylvania for the weekend.
Right. Maurice puts it on in Sessions Group.
Yeah, Maurice, puts on the Love Zone out of New York.
That's right. He's called Maurice the Voice.
Yeah, Maurice the Voice out of New York. Maurice Watts out of New York. Puts on this event every year, and it's a packed house. About 2,000 people attend. We had a gospel brunch on Sunday.
Right.
And it was really, really well attended. Everyone enjoyed themselves.
And you can see Leah, she was up in the house in Alexandria. They were actually working. They were printing my photos. So, I had to give them a shout out.
Another printer, let me know.
Oh. Everybody wanted to hold the camera, right? Like, for real. I mean, I attended every day. That's my New York crowd. So that's all I can say. And we have a little footage from them. We can show the little video of that very quickly if we can, from the R&B weekend. That was live. That's all I'm going to say. Yes, we do have a little bit of footage on that because they was partying, right, Denise? Oh, Denise, she didn't get to see it.
I didn't get to see it because I got sick.
Yes, you
What's up? This is Solo. We want to shout out Maurice, The Voice. The Voice once. Thank you. You got us. Absolutely awesome. You got us. Thank you. We were almost in tears on stage. Literally. Wow. Yeah, it was great. Thank you for having us. Very unexpected. Now we are officially a part of the legendary crew. Exactly. And thank you, Patricia McDougall. Thank you. We are on the scene with you tonight. Right now. Much love.
So I just want to say you received an award. Wasn't that amazing? Were you really surprised about that?
Unexpected. Absolutely. We knew nothing about it. We thought we had went over the time. Exactly. They were coming to get us on stage.
I said, boy, they really went over time. They really on the stage. And what did they do? They said, what? We got an award. I was like, wow. You guys are really good. I just want to commend you, all of you, did a fabulous job. So thank you. Awesome. And New York in the house. You know my New York folks up in here. Hello. Thank you.
Thanks, Patricia.
They were fabulous. So next year they already ready for the next year. As you can see, I mean, we just show a little bit of photos up in there to show a little bit, but stay tuned for next year. They're actually gonna have another event. And
Oh,
so
I
I'm so
wanna go next
excited.
year.
So you
That's
have to
nice.
go. I mean, with so many
Yes.
pictures, so much going on. But anyway, we're going to move right along because we have another group of 2 more photos we want to show. This is the Thurgood Marshall, right?
Thurgood Marshall Scholarship
Right.
Gala.
Correct.
It was hosted by Wendy Williams.
Yes,
Oh,
and it
that was
was
nice.
live. And that was over here in D.C. So from one to the next, and this is
And
all.
my girl, good friend,
And that
Kim
was me, of
Whitley,
course.
who searched to find me at the event. And
Yes,
this
she
is
did.
Tasha Smith's sister, twin sister.
Oh,
The
okay. Yeah, she looks
producer.
like her.
She really has a
Yeah.
Yes. This is your girl. And so we have a couple of congressmen
Congressmen
up
in the
yes.
house.
And the food was excellent. And Denise looking
Myself.
smashing. Yes.
Yes.
Look at you, Denise.
Myself and Rhonda and Patricia there.
And who was in the house. That's all I'm going to say.
Yes.
Tracy Braxton was in the house. She was also there. And Derek Rutledge with us. And Kim
Yes.
hanging out
We
with us
tried to get
this
him to
evening.
call in, but he was traveling.
Yeah, he is on his way to South Africa with Oprah today.
Yes, he was. So he wasn't able
So he called me and said, "I'm on my way to South Africa with Oprah."
So he couldn't get on the line. But anyway, we're gonna. So you know
This
that
is
is
Jack.
right there, Jack.
Jack
Everybody knows
is the
Twitter.
CEO of Twitter.
And then
Yeah.
Mars.
And then my cousin Mark, looking so dapper on the left-hand side.
And you can see
Mark
the food
Clark.
was good, right?
Yes.
Oh my goodness gracious, yes. And Angie and everybody else was in the house. But anyway, we're going to move right along. That was a fabulous event. We want to thank them for actually giving back to the students because they actually gave back and gave a lot of scholarships
Scholarship.
out.
That was wonderful.
Wasn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
So we're
Yes.
going to move it right along. One more we have to show, which would be Sustained Dialogue. The next set of photos.
The
yes.
next set of photos we have is the Sustained Dialogue Institute's gala, where I had Ambassador Andrew Young as my gala host and chair.
Right.
I had also attorney Willie Gary as my master of ceremonies, the giant killer who won the $500 million settlement and a $23 billion against the tobacco company settlement recently.
And also,
And
Andrew
so
Young.
Ambassador Andrew Young, who was my gala chair, who's a friend of mine, who said, "Yes, I will do anything you want, Denise." And then I also had a good friend of mine, Professor Charles Ogletree, who's the dean at Harvard Law School, where I attended.
Right.
Although he was unable to make it, we look forward to having him the next time.
And then we had the lady that was in there that we were honoring.
We honored Supreme Court
Can we
Judge
show those
Ruth
pictures one
Bader
more time?
Ginsburg.
We
Supreme
made-
Court Judge Ruth Bader Ginsburg in the house.
Yes,
Yeah.
she was definitely
And
looking
she was there,
beautiful
and
as ever.
Susan Lehrman, who was her family owns the giant supermarkets throughout the country.
Right.
Susan Carmel Lehrman, and she also has the Lehrman Carmel Institute at American University. And then there's a friend of mine, Daryl Riddick, the owner of Total Fit Water. So
Yes,
we can
and
all
there she
have our
goes
electrolyte
right
water.
here.
So that is Mark, my cousin Mark, and Ambassador Young. Dame Pamela. Dame Pamela was the former premier of Bermuda.
Wow.
And her husband, Andrew, is on Shark Tank, Australia.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
He is in Shark Tank, Australia. They are multi-millionaires.
Yes,
Worth
they
about
are.
300
Woo!
They're
What?
worth $300 million.
Wow.
Yes, so we
Own private equity funds throughout the country and do very well in business. So
Well,
I'm just glad to call them friends. Thank God.
Yes, all friends. We want to keep friends like that all the time. So we want to thank everybody for chiming in and calling in, and we want to get your where we can find you on social media.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So on Instagram, you can find me at the official Zadore, the THE official Zadore, ZADORE. And you can find me on Facebook, Brianna Fields, BREIANNA Fields. And you can find me on Twitter at official Zadore.
Okay, so we have all her contact information with this lovely lady here from Tanzania.
Yes.
And we already have your information.
Yes,
You
I'd just like to
mentioned it
say
earlier
one
very
thing.
briefly.
Just before the Carolina Kitchen, I want to give a shout out to my pastor, Reverend Dr. Lee P. Washington,
Yes.
and our church family. They gave out 2,500 turkeys to families in need, and we partnered to give out 800 with area smaller churches and nonprofit organizations to help people in those communities. So we did that this Saturday before Thanksgiving.
Well, we want to thank you all for coming out. And Miss Denise, thank you for coming out, because she was hanging out in New York. I mean, you know, I was jealous, right? She was with the parade and everything else. But anyway, we want to give a shout out to everyone who had a wonderful, wonderful holiday, and have a safe trip coming back. And listen in every Sunday at 2 o'clock at Patricia McDougall on the Scene, celebrity photographer, my co-host, Miss Denise
Mitchem.
All right, all right.
That's real pretty.